My dear boys and girls, today I have arranged for you the continuation of WH questions, framing WH questions. And what is the importance of WH questions? If you want to continue a dialogue, a conversation between two friends, even between two colleagues in the corporate sector, and anywhere else in your working place, in your business place, in your educational institutions. Actually, this type of WH questions are very essential during the dialogue or conversation. Clear? And one of my friends from the USA has asked me a very crucial, a very critical question. When do I use how far? And when do I use how long? This is a very critical question, but so far as my memory is concerned, I learned from my teachers that when the distance is particularly mentioned, you will have to use how long. And when the distance is not specifically or particularly mentioned, you will have to use how far. For example, I am giving you example. Number one, I walked a long distance. I walked a long distance to go to the temple, full stop. Suppose you have been asked to frame a question with how. You see that a long distance, it doesn't mean 5 kilometer or 6 kilometer or 10 kilometer. It has not been suggested or indicated. So, you will have to write how far, I walked a long distance to go to the temple. Now your question should be, how far did you walk to go to the temple? Not of interrogation. Suppose the same sentence I am repeating. Number two, she had to walk to the station. She had to walk to the station 2 kilometers. She had to walk to the station 2 kilometers from her house. Suppose you have been asked to frame a question with how. Okay? Then what should be the question? How long had she to walk? How long had she to walk to the station? How long had she to work to the station from our house. This is the general formula. But the modern grammarians, or nowadays the grammarians, do not accept this type of difference. They use how far and how long in the same sense, whether the distance is specifically mentioned or not. Okay? Am I clear? And I am able to clear the confusion, clear the doubt about how long and how far. Okay? Another example I am giving. Number 3. For example, how is a WH word which is frequently used during dialogue or conversation anywhere else? For example, she takes medicine thrice daily. She takes medicines thrice daily. Per day, she takes medicines thrice, that is 3 times. Suppose you have been asked to frame a question with how. Okay? So you will have to write here neither how long, nor how much, nor how many, nor any other thing you can use. Here suggests frequency. Here suggests frequency. You will have to write how often, question, how often does she take medicine daily? And the answer is thrice. And I have already discussed with you, my dear boys and girls, that questions should be framed in such a manner that the answer is hidden in the sentence already given. So, how often here suggests frequency, and that is why you will have to use how often. Clear? Now I am coming to another method. It's an interesting chapter, and if you can grasp this chapter, you should have no problem or hindrance while continuing your dialogue or conversation in your office, during your interview, during any other conversation in corporate sector, elsewhere. Okay? Now, question number 4. For example, you have been asked, the story was very funny. The story was very funny. Okay? Full stop. Now you have been asked to frame a question with how. Then what should be your question? How funny? Funny is the adjective. How funny was the story? How funny was the story? Answer is only very. Very is that verb. And by asking funny, you will get the answer very. Okay? So how plus adjective funny plus here was is the principal verb, and there is no trouble or problem of bringing another auxiliary verb. Now question number 5. I am giving you various types of examples of how. For example, you have been asked, he recovered from his illness rapidly. He recovered from his illness. He recovered from his illness very rapidly. Because you have been asked to frame a question with how. He recovered from his illness how. So you will have to bring rapidly. How rapidly? Here you see that the principal verb is in the past form. So you will have to supply an auxiliary verb, and that should be in the past form. Question: how rapidly? How rapidly did he recover when the auxiliary verb is in the past form? Naturally, you will have to use the present form of the principal verb. Did he recover from his illness? Okay? You see, answer is only very. Clear? So how plus rapidly adverb. This adverb is modifying another adverb. So how plus rapidly plus auxiliary verb did, it is in the past form, plus subject plus principal verb, it is in the present form. Clear? For example, another example I am giving with how far or how long. The mango grove is a long distance from our school. Full stop. The mango grove is a long distance from our school. You have been asked to frame a question with how. Then what should be the answer? The answer is how far is the mango grove from your school? Okay. So how far? And instead of far, you may use how long. There is no problem. But we learned from our teachers, so far as my memory is concerned, and they were good grammarians. How long is used when the distance is specified or specifically mentioned, and how far is used when the distance is not specifically mentioned. This is the problem. Clear? Now I am giving you another example. And example number 7. You see that how has varieties of usage. For example, a new headmaster has joined our school. Our new headmaster has joined our school. He looks like a scarecrow. He looks like a scarecrow. Suppose you have been given two sentences in IAS, IPS, etc. in the higher level competitive exam. This type of WH framing this type of questions are set. You have been asked to frame a question with how. Then what should be your answer? How does the new headmaster question? How does the new headmaster who has joined your school look like? So, how plus auxiliary verb does, because it is in the present form. Okay? He looks is the present indefinite tense form. So, how does the new headmaster who has joined your school look like? So, does is here yes has been added to do. So, it has no yes. Look like. The boy looks smart. Question number 8. The boy looks smart. And you have been asked to frame a question with how. Then what should be your answer? How does the boy look? Here there is no comparison. The boy has not been compared to any other thing or any other object. For example, the headmaster has been compared to a scarecrow, and that is why I have used like at the end of the sentence. But here there is no comparison. The boy looks smart. That means, how does the boy look? Okay, I will deal with many other varieties of questions that will be very useful or that have a utilitarian value during your dialogue, during your conversation. So, let us stop here today. Stay fit, stay safe, stay mellow, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Don't skip the video because all the discussions are very useful. Try to watch the video from the very beginning to the end and like, comment and share. Good night, my dear boys and girls, and subscribe my channel.